guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Sophia if you're new here, and I post home decor and DIY content every single Sunday. And this Sunday is so exciting. It's a collaboration video with none other than Natalie of Design to the Nines. Natalie not only has so much experience with interiors and DIY, she has another skill that I envy so much, and that is she's so comfortable on camera. She has amazing ideas that are not only aesthetic, but extremely budget friendly. So this week we decided to team up and both do some IKEA hacks to share with you all. Make sure you check out the description box below so you can go subscribe to Natalie's channel and also check out the link to the playlist that she created. With that being said, let's get into our first IKEA hack. So normally when I do an IKEA hacks video, I'll take 3 to 4 different items from IKEA and I'll customize them and I'll make them more my aesthetic. But this week I really wanted to challenge myself and just take one item from IKEA but make 3 to 4 different projects that you can do using this one item. Also, I've linked in the description box below kind of like dupes that you can find on Amazon to recreate a lot of these projects. All of these IKEA hacks are going to be using the Tip-Heed rug for only $9.99 that you can buy at IKEA. For the first project that we're going to be doing using this rug is we are going to be making a pillow, and we're going to be making a lumbar pillow. In order to do this, I just took a lumbar pillow that I already had on hand and I just pretty much cut at least 1.5 to 2 inches around the perimeter of my existing pillow. Usually a lumbar pillow is 12 by 20 inches, so that's what I decided to do mine in. So then that way when I ordered my pillow insert, it would just fit right in there perfectly. You definitely want to use fabric scissors when you're cutting fabric like this because you don't want things to start fraying unless the fraying is intentional. Otherwise it just looks really messy. So I will link these scissors. They're from Amazon. They came in a whole kit and it was only $16, and honestly there's no price you can put on your sanity. So having good quality fabric scissors is essential for all 3 of these DIYs. So after I got the major cuts done, I wanted to get rid of that sort of trim that was around the rug because when I start gluing things down, I don't want things to be really like bumpy and I want it to be really smooth. So also to make it really smooth, I'm taking my iron on a low setting and just making sure everything is pretty flat. So then when I folded it in half, you're gonna have 2 identical, pretty much identical pieces to each other. And in order to attach those pieces, you wanna use the ugly sides facing out. So the pretty sides are facing inward. And it's very important that when you're gluing the fabrics to each other, whether you're sewing, gluing, whatever you're doing, you wanna make the glue, you wanna make the adhesive extremely straight because that's what's gonna give you the straight line on your pillows. So basically what I mean is even if your cuts are super straight, but your glue is all over the place, when you flip it inside out, it's not gonna look right. So you wanna make sure that this is where you're being extremely tedious. And you wanna just kind of glue in sections. Don't just like put a bunch of glue all the way around and then attach it. Just go in like, I would say like 4 to 6 inch sections just to make sure you're pressing everything down and you're kind of seeing where everything is laying just to make sure it doesn't get all wonky. A few things I just wanted to mention. If you don't wanna use hot glue and you wanna use your sewing machine or you wanna sew it, that's totally cool. To me, it always just seems like this big hassle to take out the sewing machine or it's very time consuming to use a needle and thread. So do whatever fits your lifestyle the best. And then also I wanted to mention that if you don't have this exact same rug from IKEA, but you have another rug from IKEA that's flat woven like this, or you have just fabric in general that looks similar to this, you can do all 3 of these DIY projects. And once you've finished gluing the bottom and your left and right side down, it's time now to flip it right side out. So, and that's why you do the bad side first. So those seams that you've glued down are like tucked on the inside so no one can see them. And now that our fabric is right side out, I just wanted to take my iron one more time before I add my fill to the pillow just to make sure that all of those sort of kinks are kind of ironed out. And once that's pretty well ironed out, it's just time now to add our fill. I ended up picking up this lumbar pillow at IKEA in the as is section for only $1.50. And then to attach the top, I like to do something that I've never seen anybody else do. So I do the left corner, the middle, and then the right corner, and then I fill in between those sections rather than going straight across because I found that when you kind of karate chop your pillow, it looks the best when you do it this way. For our next tip heed IKEA hack, I thought it would be so good to wrap just any old box that you might have in this fabric because it's a woven material. It's so beautiful, and everybody has a box at their house lying around. Between Amazon, ordering shoes, we always have a box on hand. So the first thing I needed to do was to hot glue the bottom of the box because I hate when I see projects, or even when I've done projects myself, and the bottom isn't done because it just makes everything feel not complete. So I just hot glued all 4 corners down to a section, making sure that when I'm going to start folding everything in to get this box completely covered, that I had enough room. The easiest way I have found to cover any sort of a box like this is to kind of wrap it around from the outside coming in, so then that way all of the faces are covered, and then also all of the inside of all of the faces are covered, so it looks really well finished. And because you hot glued the box down initially, it's not going to be moving around on you, so you know exactly where you need to cut those 90-degree angles to meet it, so then that way when you're folding it over inside of the box, every single face is covered extremely well. And once you've kind of made your rough general cuts and you're folding everything in, making sure that everything inside and everything outside is completely covered, I just wanted to trim the excess, so then that way when I make the bottom covering, it's not going to look kind of like bumpy or uneven. So I'm just trimming off enough excess so then that way it sits really flat. And then again, I'm going to take out my hot glue gun. You can use any sort of like maybe fabric adhesive, or, you know, E6000 or whatever you have, I'm sure is fine. I would say no to Mod Podge in this case because I would say that the Mod Podge might start to pull through the fabric. I'm not sure, but I would say use hot glue over Mod Podge in this situation. And also when you're just hot gluing the inside, it's really nice because then that way you don't have a bunch of glue on the front of the box, on the corners of the box. You only have it in specific places that no one's going to really see, which gives you an overall much cleaner finish. And now with the box essentially done, I just wanted to make another piece to kind of sit in the box using that same fabric. I took some cardboard, that was actually the lid that came with this box, and I just glued all 4 corners down to the fabric. And just as we did with the bottom of the box, we're going to do the exact same thing to the top, which is pretty much to just cut these 90-degree angles. So then that way everything is getting folded really nicely and it looks really seamless in the end. And now with the box essentially done, I feel like it needed a little something. So I have had so much of this leather strap fabric lying around, so I wanted to do something with it, and I thought this would be the perfect project to use it on. And I also had some of these studs, and I just feel like it makes it look so much more finished and put together. So I will link the studs that I have. They are from Amazon. I bought them a while ago, but I'm sure that they still have them. And after that, I'm just cutting it down to size and making sure that it's pretty well centered. I wasn't super methodical and like measuring anything, just kind of eyeballing it until it looked good. For our next IKEA hack using this same rug, I've seen everywhere online, at HomeGoods, at high-end decor stores, where what they're doing is they're taking a frame, and inside the frame they are laying down a vintage rug, and they're selling these for hundreds if not thousands of dollars, which obviously it probably depends on the rug that you're putting in here. Granted, this is not a vintage rug or anything like that, but it is a beautiful texture, and I think displayed in a frame is going to look really beautiful. So in order to do this, obviously you need to purchase this rug or have any fabric that looks similar to this one, and you need to have a frame. I would recommend using a frame that's a slightly larger scale just because usually rugs are typically bigger. So I know the tag for the artwork said $9.99, but they actually gave it to me for only $1 because in the corner the glass was cracked. And that was fine because all I really needed from this was the mat. So if you're not familiar, a mat in a picture is that white border that you see, and I feel like mats can make or break how a picture turns out. But mats can be expensive, especially for this size. This is a 20 by 24 frame. So if I was going to buy a mat like this, it would at least be $20. So $1 versus $20 is obviously a major savings. In order to figure out how much of the fabric I was actually going to need, I ended up just taking the back of the print that I had picked up from the thrift store and just tracing around it with some blue chalk. You can use a pen, you can use whatever you have, just something that's gonna kind of like give you an overall estimate of how much fabric you're gonna need for this project. And once you have your fabric kind of laid out, just go ahead and take those same fabric scissors that we used in the first DIY and cut along the line that you created. And now with that all cut out, it's just time to take out my trusty iron and tape down all the sides so it doesn't look wrinkled in the actual picture. And this is how our rug artwork turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button because I post home decor and DIY content every single Sunday. And also don't forget to check out the link to Natalie's channel and the playlist in my description box below. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.